Kawhi Leonard is without a doubt the most enigmatic superstar of the modern era. Since the 2017 to 2018 season, Kawhi has played in 60-plus regular season games only once and averages just under 25 points per game. Yet, once the postseason comes, in that same span of time, he jumps to top 5 in points per game and steals per game. Plus, he goes to top 10 in field goal percentage and is the only player not typically listed at power forward or center in that top 10 list. But it's not just that. It's how he operates as a superstar in the league that's the most perplexing, as Kawhi's personality can only be described as camera shy at best. A man of few words and few emotions, almost like the Terminator. However, behind closed doors with his teammates, this deadpan personality has created some moments in the locker room that feel like a scene straight out of The Office. Here's Norman Powell, Kawhi's teammate in Toronto and LA, who attempts to paint a full, nuanced picture of who Kawhi Leonard is as both a person and a player, and discusses with Draymond Green and Baron Davis the definition of a Kawhiism.
Also, your relationship with Kawhi, we know Kawhi is out. Definitely when he comes back, I think y'all going to be one of the most dangerous teams in the league. You've played on the same team, won a championship.
Relax.
You know. Hey, man, he get mad every time I say that.
Relax.
Man, we're going to get one.
Relax, bro. It's cool. Relax, man.
You had to get one, dog.
You know what I mean? My man.
I'm glad that it still I'm glad it still bothers him, man.
It will never not bother me, bro. It will never not bother me.
But talk about y'all evolution as teammates, y'all relationship with teammates.
Kawhi's been great, man. I've known Kawhi since I was in high school. I was in San Diego. I was at Lincoln. He was at San Diego State. San Diego State was the first school to offer me a full ride scholarship. I took my official visit there, being from San Diego, expecting Coach Fisher. Jeremy, Kawhi's right-hand man, he hosted me actually on my visit to San Diego State. So knowing Kawhi and being around Kawhi for a while, he's always supported me and showed me love. Even when he was in San Antonio playing, he pulled me to the side, whatever I needed. I'll make sure I hit him up back down to San Diego, get workouts in and things like that. But just being able to share the floor to him, talk to him, pick his brain and his approach, because everybody thinks he's just like this, statue robot that has no feelings, no emotions and things like that, man. I always try to tell people, man, Kawhi is literally one of us, you know what I mean? He's just quiet in the media and everything like that, but behind closed doors in the locker room, he's telling jokes, he's talking, he's normal, you know what I mean? But just his approach to the game and his diligence and his focus is what I've appreciated as a teammate. I've learned so much from just no matter what's going on, just staying even. I'm saying he's never too high, never too low. He always has this demeanor of effort. I'm saying I miss a shot, I'm gonna miss another one. I'm saying I'm still gonna approach it. I'm still gonna go at it the same way. And so that's rubbed off on me, where it's like no matter what's going on, I know who I am. I know what player I am. Nothing's gonna change that. So that's what I've learned most about Kawhi, but I've known him for a while. So being teammates or not, we've always been cool. I see Charles says, what's the funniest thing you've seen? What's the funniest thing I've seen? Him working out with no socks is crazy. I think that's probably the funniest thing. He on the court with full setup and no socks is probably the funniest thing I've seen.
What?
That's sick. Yeah, that's nasty.
I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble saying that, man.
Nah, I was going to say, what is a Kawhi-ism? I heard a Kawhi-ism was the coach was saying, all right, dude in the game, he can't shoot. He said, well, why is he?
Oh, my gosh, you want a Kawhi-ism? All right, so we in Toronto, right? We just got blown out by Milwaukee, and we come in the film the next day, and Nick Nurse is talking about roles and how our offense can get better. We just got blown out. And so he's telling everybody what they should do, and he gets to Kawhi, and he's talking about trying to move the ball, you know what I mean? And so he's like, even Kawhi, you come down, man, you know what I'm saying? Just moving the ball for the hell of it. And Kawhi's like, well, I got the deep voice. He's like, I don't think I should move the ball for the hell of it. I was like, man. And he's like, my job is to score the ball. And like the head coach, usually got something to say back. And you don't know what to say because nobody was expecting it. And he's just like, nah. And it's monotone as hell. Nah, I ain't going to move the ball for the hell of it. And everybody just started busting up laughing in the, oh my gosh, in the locker room, in the theater room, man, watching that film. It was hilarious. But he got little one-liners all the time. He got one-liners all the time that people don't know, but he's hilarious. But him coming back, man, is going to be huge for us. Just the attention to detail that teams have to focus on. It's going to take the pressure off James being picked up full court. It's going to take the pressure off me getting double-teamed and face guard and boxed and one when you're playing against certain teams. Having to guard Kawhi, he draws double teams. You can't guard him one-on-one for a full course of the game. So now I'm getting more catch-and-shoot threes and more stuff out the floor of the offense from his double team and stuff like that. I think it's just he's a generational talent. When he's on the floor, man, and he's healthy, he's top 5 in the league with his production and his play. And it's going to elevate the team. He's a two-way threat, offensively, defensively, and it's going to help other guys get into their more natural role to help our bench as well. Some guys playing in the bench, starting right now with the lineups, and when he's back, it's going to have a full team to where we can do a lot of different things defensively and offensively.
Even though Norman Powell has played with Kawhi at his last 2 stops in the NBA, the teammate Kawhi Leonard seemed to be the closest to in his career has been the 3-and-D NBA journeyman, Danny Green. Green and Leonard went through it all together in San Antonio. From the wild NBA Finals versus Miami, to Green being one of Kawhi's biggest supporters when the up-and-coming superstar was going through his drama with the organization. For that support, the Spurs basically said, if you love him so much, why don't you head out with him? And package Green with Kawhi when they made the deal to send Leonard to the Raptors. That ended up working out pretty well for the both of them, as they would help get the Raptors to the promised land and win Toronto a championship for the first time in the city's history. This also means Green was there for the greatest shot of Leonard's Hall of Fame career, this classic Game 7 prayer that was answered for Kawhi, but not before it bounced off of every part of the rim before gently falling through the net. Here's Green on that legendary play, the entire 2019 playoff run, and Kawhi's development and improvement as a player, and more specifically a shooter, while Green has been with Leonard in the NBA.
Today's 6th anniversary of Kawhi's legendary game winner in game. Did you not know that?
I did not know.
Y'all don't have a function to celebrate?
We don't have a function.
6th anniversary of Kawhi's legendary game winner, Game 7, the Eastern Semis to lift the Raptors over the Sixers. Let's take a look at the video. Go back down memory lane if we can. Looking at this moment, boom. Ooh.
Bro, that's a wild ass shot.
Ooh. Boom.
Oh, man. And that's how long it took in arena. In the arena, it felt that fucking long.
So what do you remember from that moment and that championship run with the Raptors?
The whole run?
Or just that moment in particular?
That moment, because we went into overtime, it might have been curtains for us. They had a lot of momentum. I remember when he took the shot, I don't even know if that was the play. I don't think we ran it, executed it the right way. When he took the shot, I was like, oh shit, this is not a good shot. And I thought we were going to go in overtime. But it caught the rim and it bounced. I was like, and each bounce, it had a chance. But when he originally took the shot, I thought it was a bad shot and he was going to miss it. When he made that shit, though, changed everything. But I remember a lot during that run. I remember Fred having his baby, and he went off crazy in Milwaukee series and Golden State series. I remember Kalo playing extremely well in the Golden State series. I think he had lost his grandmother. It was Pascal's coming out season. He just had an unbelievable season and playoffs against Golden State. A lot of variables came into play. It was Nick Nurse's first season. We tried a lot of different weird shit we had never done throughout the whole year. We played a box at one point. We doubled everybody in Milwaukee, even when Kawhi was guarding Chris Middleton on that Malone spot. He was throwing different things in the mix. So I remember just having to adjust and learn a lot of shit on the fly. But ultimately, certain guys stepping up, and everybody had a moment at different times.
Be honest, did it feel like once you got to this point in this shot and get into the championship, the idea of we could win kicks in then? But starting the playoff, did y'all have we can win a championship in mind?
When we got there in the beginning of the season, I thought we had a shot to come out the East. But winning a championship was not. With Golden State, with having KD, it wasn't a thing. But if you've ever been to the finals, you just got to get there. You just never know what's going to happen. And because most teams aren't 100% healthy when you get there. Mm-hmm. And anybody can get hot when you get there. And Tony told me that actually my first finals ended up actually being me being one of the guys to get hot first finals. He's like, because we weren't supposed to beat Miami. He's like, we're underdogs. He's like, just got to get there. You just never know what's going to happen. If somebody get hot. And we actually had a chance to win in 2013, even though we lost. But I was like, if we get there, we might have an opportunity. But I knew we could come out the East once we had the group that we had. And especially when we got Marc Gasol at the trade deadline.
That was a big pickup.
Yeah. Yo, how good was Kawhi Leonard?
That run? Nah, he was. I seen him the growth. And nobody predicted that, bro. From what he started out as to what he became, I'd never seen it coming. But his efficiency, man, and what he could do, not just on offense, but both sides of the ball, and he was doing it on one knee. His knee was not good. That Milwaukee series really solidified it for me, though. He's having an unbelievable run. Because we were down 0-2, and he don't never get shook, or he's just the same person. He's like, all right. He's like, Kawhi, where we go from here? He goes back to Toronto for game 3. You know what I'm saying? So everybody else kind of just followed suit, and then we went 4 straight.
So there's a lot of narratives about Kawhi that we hear from the outside world, but as a former teammate, just what's it like being with him as a teammate? What's his work ethic like? And then also just dealing with the knee injuries and the injuries throughout his career, but still trying to play at a high level.
He puts in the work. And a lot of times some guys won't see it because he's there early, he's there late, but you can tell he puts in the work. There's a lot of other guys I've been around that are just talented and don't put the work in. But he's one of those guys that puts the work in. And it's just unfortunate to see because he could have been one of the best two-way players and one of the best players to ever lace him up. And I still think he is in the conversation, top 75. But if he had those injuries, he probably could have won 1 or 2 more. He probably could have gotten MVP on one of those years. But yeah, I've seen him when he first got into the league to what he became because he couldn't shoot when he first came in.
Serious?
Not well. It was more of a mid-range. They had to reconstruct his shot a lot. He was more of a defensive. They brought him in to be Bruce Bowen. He had the physique, he had shoulders, he had arms, he had the hands. And they were like, oh, he can be our defensive stopper. And they traded George Hill for him, which they loved George. So I was like, we're trading George for him. They must see something. And he came in, I didn't see the offensive repertoire like that, but he worked on his shot every day. Started in close free throw line, and he's expanded, became a 40% three-point shooter, took his time. Obviously, his mid-range, 99. But once he extended it to 3, and went from fourth quarter to give Tony the ball to Tony, give him the fucking ball. And it happened real fast. And I was like, oh shit, this is what we're doing now? Tony's not fourth quarter angle. No, it's Kawhi. I was like, oh shit, all right, let's give Kawhi the ball. Happened that fast.
Well, I'm moving forward. If your ass can't shoot, I'm just gonna stare you. I'm sorry, because the fact that when I look at his shot and I call him a pure shooter.
He can shoot. He's developed.
Like he's done had this shit since he was little type of shot. Nah. But the fact that he created it as an NBA player really means.
That's why we couldn't see it coming because it's rare. You don't see people change the shot and become a good shooter. You either have touch or you don't. You can shoot or you can't. You usually don't develop that as an adult. He developed that even though he wasn't a full adult, but 2020, he restructured his shot, changed it, and became a really good shooter. Before that, it was more mid-range, more floaters, layups, hook shots. That was more. But three-point shot, he wasn't one of those guys. But he developed that.
He's a top 5 player in this era?
In this era?
In his
era? If he was healthy, yeah, but I can't. It's hard to put him in that conversation because of the last 2 postseasons, he's not been able to be active. He's missed a lot of postseasons. But talent-wise, for sure, he's up there in the top 5.
A big reason for Kawhi's insane improvement as a basketball player, as Danny Green was saying, is the claw's evolution as a jump shooter, particularly from the mid-range. As Green and Gilbert Arenas said earlier, guys in the league will develop many new skills throughout their NBA careers to improve and get bigger contracts. But rarely does someone go from shooting 35.6% from 16 feet to the three-point line in their rookie year to almost 51% from that same distance in the 2019 playoffs, carrying the load for Toronto. For a minute there during the 2010s, with the emergence of advanced stats, volume three-point shooting, and an emphasis on efficiency, the mid-range game was beginning to become a lost art within the NBA. But Kawhi showed that if your superstar is truly elite from that range as a scorer and commits to playing hard on both sides of the floor, then winning an NBA title is a realistic outcome for that team. Here's fellow mid-range maestro Carmelo Anthony on how happy he is when watching a fully healthy Kawhi Leonard. The quiet walk to his spots, the elbow pull-up that doesn't need flair to be fatal, and of course, the way a defender will panic before the shot even leaves the claw's hand. He explains why the sometimes overlooked mid-range game is the key, how the footwork, balance, and timing have become a math problem that most teams no longer study for defensively.
Kawhi is looking healthy, and we've seen him do some incredible playoff performances. It's insane. It almost gets you mad because, man, I wish I'd be able to see this dude healthy because when he is, he's one of the best ever. So I'm going to ask you, is healthy Kawhi right now a top 5 playoff performer ever? This is a guy who's won chips.
We're seeing a healthy Kawhi. This is what we want to see from Kawhi. This is why we always anticipate Kawhi, his comeback, you know what I'm saying? Anticipate an album in a sense every single time. You get what I'm saying? No matter what, he's
still going to be hoping for it when it drops.
So now when we get a chance to see a rested Kawhi for 2 years, 2 seasons, or really 2.5 seasons, some shit like that. He's rested, he's healthy, and utilizing a part of the game that nobody else can utilize. The mid-range is his money. He's effective. He gonna get to his spot. You don't know how to guard that because you don't guard that.
No.
You don't defend that. You gonna practice how to defend that.
And it's
so
simple
you got somebody who mastered those spots. This is what we said with Kawhi. I'm just gonna get to my spot, left, shot fake, boom, jump into you, get to my spot, post fade. He making the game super simple.
He make it look easy.
Because we don't see that in the game today. So when you see it, you got to really lock into somebody who knows areas in the ISO situation. You got to really pay attention as a fan, right? So that's why it looks so crazy because we ain't seeing that no more today. And he's one of the ones who know how to operate and wants to operate in those areas. He's playing D. He's always been a defender, but he's healthy now. Switches and he's moving. Laterally, he's moving. He got his bounce back, his pop. Kawhi's good, bro.
He's better than good.
Yeah,
man, he's great.
Kawhi's special. Always been special. I love watching Kawhi play because I know the essence of how he plays.
Yeah. You're like the mid-range Mr. Miyagi, right? You watch your joint as the master of it, as one of the masters of that area of the game. Why is that specific part of the court so difficult to guard in this day and age? It feels like everybody either goes for threes or gets to the rim or tries to get fouls or step backs, but simple 1-2 dribbles in the mid-range, especially when you're efficient, just seems like it's an unguardable thing. And we're seeing it with Kawhi. We've seen it with you. Why is it that part of the court is so difficult to stop?
Because for now you want space. Everybody wants space. You want to space the court. So now that it's space, and you got somebody who can navigate within that open space, it becomes super easy in a sense. There's so much space. If I know that I'm able to do that, if I know that I'm allowed to do that, I'm playing the in-between game. Not every time I want to go to the rack. Not every time I want to shoot a three. I want to be able to operate in these dimensions over here. And it's so much space out there with James and doing what you know what I mean? Zubac is playing, he's playing well. So now, because you don't practice that, you don't practice how to guard that, you can't switch nothing. So you on the island. So whoever is on you, right? And it's me and you, because they're not double teaming. They're not sending a guy.
They're not going to send somebody from the corner.
No, they're not doing that. We mono. And may the best man win in that situation.
Man, the Clippers look great. Harden's been hooping. Nuggets been hooping. I think Jokic had a triple-double. Murray's been playing well. It's been crazy, crazy basketball being played on both conferences right now. So, but I'm really happy to see Kawhi just out there. That's just a dude who has just been through so many injuries. He's kind of the reason why the Tua Dome was built in many reasons, right? When they made those big trades or whatever. So now that the playoffs are here and they have a real shot at advancing, it's almost like that wait was worth it. You know what I'm saying? There was times where people would say, oh man, if we could just get Kawhi for the last 20 games of the regular season, and 10 games of just be good for the playoffs, we'll take that.
But you gotta meet people where they at. You know what I'm saying? We was meeting Kawhi where he was at. He was hurt, so we was meeting him hurt. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
He was playing hurt, so we was meeting him at where he was at. So now he's in a much better situation, physically, mentally, probably emotionally. Now he can lock in. And we meeting him back here, right? Yeah. Jimmy Butler effect too. We meet Jimmy where he's at.
Man.
All right? So now we meeting him where he's at, which is right now and playing the way that he's playing. And we back to fucking with Jimmy, right? We back to fucking with Jimmy. Before these was off.
I think it's the nickname, man. The nickname makes people feel like, that's not a real thing. But we saw in the playing game.
No, it's a real thing. And Kawhi's always been a missing piece for the Clippers. Even with PG, he was a missing piece to the Clippers the whole time. That's why they couldn't get over that hump.
Dude's a freak of nature and 2-time champ, finals MVP. Not many people have pulled that off, so shoot. Hard to bet against anybody in the playoffs. And I definitely won't bet against a healthy Kawhi in the playoffs.
Now, Kawhi Leonard wasn't the only huge trade the Raptors made to set up their 2019 championship run, as Marc Gasol would be traded to the North from his longtime home in Memphis at the 2019 trade deadline. This gave Toronto a rugged, veteran defensive identity that translated perfectly to postseason basketball. Gasol met up with his old Grindhouse teammates Zebo and Tony Allen on the Out the Mud podcast and walked them through the small stuff that made the 2019 Raptors work. The quiet signals Kawhi gave in the huddles, how one possession could feel like a chess problem and a physical war all at the same time, and the way the Claw took on a particular playoff matchup and was able to single-handedly shift that playoff series. This clip plays like a coach's film session wrapped inside a teammate's recollection. He talks pace, angles, and the trust they were able to build as a team, despite such a small amount of time together.
Kawhi hit that motherfucker. Boy, I remember that. So just looking at the still picture of that, and talk to us about just that specifically, that game.
So the whole series, I'm going to talk to you about that game, but that series, obviously, once you get locked in with a guy and he's effective, coach is going to always manage your minutes, right? Like, I want you to guard him every possession, every game, blah. So I think game 3, I get in a little foul trouble early on. I'm not going to say the name of the ref, but they want me to get off his body a little bit and give him some air and got called 2 quick fouls. Then you're behind the 8 ball because you can't be as aggressive no more. And game gets a little bit out of control. He gets going. And I think he celebrated, and as he should. He felt the moment of relief that, shit, I'm free now. I'm making shots. I'm driving through the lane. I'm free, and I'm dunking. So he was excited, but it was a grind every game. On the road to win in the playoffs, it takes some mental strength, to say the least. And Kawhi carried that team on the road amazingly, and everybody played their role. Pascal Siakam, Freddie VanVleet. You saw against Philly, they were so big. They had Jimmy Butler too. They got Tobias Harris. They're a big team. So some of the smaller guards, Freddie and Norm, they had a tough time playing against them. So once we passed them, and on the game 7 when Kawhi made that shot, I'm the one taking the ball out of bounds. As soon as he got it, he's sprinting first. I think he wanted to first take the elbow shot, but I think he saw the help. Joel Embiid just chased him. I think Joel was guarding either Pascal or maybe Serge or myself. So Joel just takes off and just starts chasing him. So I think that's why he takes the extra dribble, goes all the way to the baseline and takes that shot. That bounce, I've seen a lot of shots in my life. I've never seen a bounce that way. And I think it was crazy. I think the atmosphere everything was just shaking. It was a good feeling.
Man, a great moment.
Right.
He definitely one of those guys, what they call him, the claw. He got them big ass hands, man.
For sure.
Locking your ass up, man. I'm talking about getting to his mid-range.
Strong as hell, too.
Man, it was like, he was y'all guy that year. And for him to leave the Spurs and come over there and do what he did, you leave in Memphis, both of you guys being DPOYs.
It's all about the right things too. His position defensively, besides the tools that he had, right? his position was always flawless. He never fucked up a spot where he needed to be defensively. And you don't want him close to the ball because you can't play around with with the basketball around him. You're not going to play around because he's going to take the shit from your hand. So when he's on the back, even if you're from the strong side, he reminded me of you in a lot of things. He could reach, and he had so much strength in that arm that he would rip through anybody. And I saw that against Milwaukee when they put him on Giannis, and Giannis would try to do that. You don't need no wall when Kawhi was in the game. You don't need to build the wall. Kawhi just there by himself. What up? That's tough. He's like, but to his credit, he probably knew he was leaving. He gave it his all. He put his knee was hurting quite a bit. He played through it, brought us to the promised land, and got us a championship. And that to me, that's the ultimate respect. Even though you know that you might leave or your heart tells you that I'm moving on, right now, today, I'm going to give you everything I got. And to me, that's
all we got. Shout out my boy Kawhi. Shout out Kawhi.
Yeah,
I got a huge...
For all the good that Kawhi Leonard did during his time with the San Antonio Spurs, the Claw's exit from Texas was catastrophic and filled with drama. Leonard left the Spurs due to a breakdown in trust and communication within the organization, stemming from his quadriceps injury, a rare form of chronic degenerative quadriceps tendinopathy. This led to a complex situation where his condition was unusual for specialists and caused significant time missed, including an entire NBA season. This led to many disagreements over medical treatment and a recovery timeline between Leonard and the team's medical staff, which made Kawhi's camp feel the need to seek outside advice from Kawhi's family. The situation escalated with public comments from Spurs players, notably Tony Parker, questioning the legitimacy of Leonard's injury, further eroding the relationship. Eventually, this led to what many felt was a shocking trade request in the summer of 2018, ending Kawhi's tenure with the Spurs, seen as the gold standard organization in the NBA, and reshaping the landscape of the entire league, as the Claw was now about as far from San Antonio as they possibly could have put him. Here are two teammates during Kawhi's last season in San Antonio who break down their own perspective of the rare media circus season for the Spurs. Co-star LaMarcus Aldridge, who came to the Spurs in large part because he wanted to play with Leonard, and Rudy Gay, who was Leonard's backup that year, so he started on Kawhi's behalf for over 50 starts that season.
Year 2 in San Antonio, Tim retires, you guys get Powell. 60 wins, Western Conference, they get Golden State, Kevin and Steph. Kawhi goes down. The thought going into that series with you guys?
It's our time. We had played them well all season. We went there game 1 of the season. It was TNT, and we won. And we left that bitch. If this is the best team, we good. And we hadn't even got chemistry. If this is the best team, we good. Let's just keep building, keep getting chemistry, but we all right. So we get to that point, and we were like, hey, we back here. We good. So then we get into the game. We up 20-something, and we rolling like the same shit. And we had Jonathan Simmons, H-Town.
Boy.
So then he was killing for us, too. So we had him balling, got Kawhi balling. I'm doing good. So it was just like shit was clicking. Kawhi goes down, and you should go to state defense is A-1. They double me in every which way. I can't get a good shot. Then Jay Sims is getting more attention. And it's just, shit went from sugar to shit real quick because Kawhi and I were playing so good off of each other. He was balling, I was balling, and then without him, they were just on our ass a little bit.
Kawhi ends up having a falling out. Tony Parker makes some comments. What's someone who was in there? What do you feel like you could share or shed some light on that? What happened?
When somebody ready to go, they ready to go. That's all I got to say about that. When somebody ready to go, they ready to go. Even when you're there, certain shit is never told to everybody. Some shit stays behind closed doors. So no one knows all the shit but them. You know what I'm saying? Shit was going back and forth with them, but we don't know what was going on.
And coming from our dynamic, you got to be a strong-willed and a strong-minded brother to make it on the San Antonio Spurs organization. Because Pop is going to test you, and he's trying to make you a better person, but he's going to put you in a lot of situations to test you. You know what I'm saying? He did it to me, he did it to Kawhi, he did it to other people, but me and Kawhi couldn't take that shit. That's just what it was. We couldn't take that shit, dog. We want to hoop. We don't want to be in the corner all, you know what I'm saying? We want to ISO. We don't want to run pick and roll. You know what I'm saying? That was Kawhi's attitude. He really wanted to hoop, bro.
No, he did.
And when the injury stuff came down, how they didn't fight for him in public. Tony Tony was out a long time.
That was the end.
Kawhi never said nothing. There was question about why Kawhi was out, and Tony was like, well, I had the same injury, and I came back questioning if he really hurt on national TV. That pushed him right out the door. For those that didn't know.
If you can see his face while you talking,
chill, bro. That's a good ass painting over there, bro. Shit. I didn't see that shit at first. That's dope.
Yes, sir.
That's a good ass painting, bro.
I'm a part of the organization, so you know what I'm saying? I hear shit too.
Man.
You know what I mean?
It is what it is, man. Yeah. I ain't gonna speak for nobody, but bro, I think he didn't want to do all the other shit that popped in too, the learning shit. Everybody don't want to learn about Western Africa.
None of that.
Learn the maps which I ain't saying right or wrong, just didn't want to do that.
You played with Kawhi for about 5 games. You know what I'm saying?
Was it that many? That was crazy.
How many was DMPs, bro? We don't know. You know what I mean?
That was some of the craziest. That was some of the craziest that I seen in my life.
He didn't talk to nobody.
He talks like he ain't like what people think, but he ain't gonna come on here after me. He ain't gonna talk like that, but he say a little funny. He's still a robot, but he's not real.
He do whisper shit. You know?
So that's not real, bro.
I'm saying, so you were there towards the end of his tenure. I'm saying at San Antonio, and that was a weird situation. So you said being in weird situations. What was that one like?
Because we've all talked about it. Sometimes you fed up, and I caught the tail end of that. But I can see he was just fed up, tired, man. Wanted something new, found it. But it is one of the craziest situations I've been a part of. You know what? It was refreshing though.
To see what?
Because you don't see. That was the first time in a long time I've ever seen somebody just stand on it. You know what I mean? He stood on it. It's like, yo, no, this is what I want. Stand on it. And I think that was the beginning of the era. But besides Bron, obviously, Bron.
Well, not
everything,
yeah.
But
player empowerment.
Player be like, oh, no, this is what I want. I'm gonna stand on it until I get it.
What he wanted? A new thigh? He had the thigh bruise, right? What he wanted?
Yeah.
He wanted to be healthy.
I think he wanted to be gone.
Oh, so
that's what I meant by that.
Yo,
obviously he wanted to be healthy, but I think he just needed to change the scenery. He just wanted to change the scenery more than anything. But he was nursing an injury. But I think more than anything, he just wanted to change the scenery.
And as a guy, like you said, as a guy that's been in situations where you feel like, damn, I'm over here in my prime, dog, fucking spinning my wheels, giving y'all 20 a night for no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What the fuck am I doing here? Could you relate to him on that level?
Because I remember seeing Melo in the media, they made it seem like you get traded, but you're still playing. So you dealing with the scrutiny and the criticism every day. Kawhi had to deal with none of that. He ain't show up. You know what I mean? So
Kawhi's been missing for 3.5 weeks.
Yeah, man. We don't know what it's You know what I'm saying? You at home, they born you. You know what I'm saying? You walk down the street, you go to the bodega. Man, why you want to leave and all that?
Yeah. You got to deal with it.
Kawhi's like, nah. I'm going to go rehab over here, man. You know what I mean?
In a secret location.
Right.
They had to invent TMZ Sports for that nigga, man. Yo, we got to find Kawhi.
I just can imagine that. Because people don't see that, don't hear about that side. We only, even you as fans, right? We don't hear about, we just see what we see and we know what we know based on what they tell us.
Right.
So when you hear about the backstories to somebody standing on something as strong as that, despite all the energy that's coming from the outside world. It's debates, it's this, should he do this, should he do that?
Right.
I'm sure every single day you walk into that facility, practice, it's everywhere. That's the topic of the day. And it's going on.
Right.
And you only getting it from one side. Kawhi ain't saying shit.
Especially us, because we like, yo, where he at?
So what was you saying through all of this?
He was still winning.
I feel you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No, I wasn't even like that. But after a while, whatever. You know what I mean? But then he'd pop up. Come in there and do some curls and all that and shoot. Oh, he about to come back. All right.
Nigga out 3 more weeks.
Now pop less and less in my playing time. Get ready for him to come back. Then the nigga don't come back. So I'm just sitting on the bench for no reason. Shit.
And now you sick. But then now you got to deal with the emotional part of that too.
It's different. You get subbed out, somebody come in for you. You know what I'm saying? Something in high school, this nigga ain't come out. If a coach take you out of spite, that person going in is out of spite too. So
that's a fact.
So as soon as you had a conversation with coach, he put you back in, that's another player's career you playing with. So you know what I'm saying? And I was a victim of that a lot, which I really don't respect a lot, but it's a lot that goes with it. I'm not saying it's Kawhi's fault, but on either side, I don't respect that a lot.
And you ain't had no place to go. You was going from the bullshit. But y'all was winning some games.
And I was fresh off a torn Achilles.
Yeah, so you was just happy to be back, get back on the court. No, I get it. It's a little weird over there.
A little.
It ain't for everybody. It's not weird. I'm sorry, because I hate that word weird. It ain't for everybody. It's not for everybody.
Looking back at it, I don't think it was for me either.
If you look throughout NBA history, and focus on some of the league's most successful players, you'll notice that there have been certain playstyles, almost like archetypes from the NBA 2K series, that can be traced throughout the league's eras all the way to today's game. For example, at his core, Bill Russell was an undersized, athletic beast who was the best defender in the league during his era and an unselfish, pass-first player on offense who used his top-level basketball IQ on both ends to become a multi-time NBA champion. Now, if you were to trace that archetype to today's game, the 1970s would have players like the Secretary of Defense, Bobby Jones. The 80s and 90s had the Worm, Dennis Rodman. The 2000s had 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, Ben Wallace. And the 2010s and the modern game features the Warriors legend, Draymond Green. If you ever wanted to win an argument that Bill Russell could play in today's NBA, bring up this archetype theory and show your friend how his game could be taken all the way to today. Now that we understand a little bit about the theory, what if we did the same exercise, but started tracing the archetype from the GOAT, Michael Jordan? He'd be a two-way isolation specialist, who was first-team all-defense on one end, and consistently 30 points per game in the playoffs on the other. He was also specifically lethal from the mid-range, and was able to be the alpha dog for his teams as a wing player to lead them to NBA gold. After MJ, obviously the great Kobe Bryant would be next up, and for good reason, as he meticulously copied his idol's game until he had it mastered, which led the Mamba to championship glory. Now, after Kobe, in today's era, there is a great case to be made that Kawhi Leonard is the third coming of this archetype, especially after the magic he made to win the 2019 NBA title. It was all there. The footwork, the consistent nightly scoring, the suffocating lockdown defense, and the confidence to take the NBA title in a postseason that was genuinely up for grabs. Here's Norman Powell once again, comparing Kawhi's ability to elevate and instill confidence in his teammates when he's on the floor, with the same aura and swagger as MJ and Kobe before him.
We have the DeMar and Kawhi trade, and obviously it ended up working out, but talk a little bit just about that transition for you personally and just what was going on in your mind during that time.
I knew something was going to happen. When LeBron hit that little buzzer beater with the right running and gamed us like that, me and Fred looked at each other in the locker room like, yeah, man, something's going to go.
Not playing with you.
Yeah, it was like, man, something got to go. Something's going to change. And we didn't know what it was, like number 1 seed, and we got swept. Like, that don't happen. You got, Boston took them to 7. How did we not get 1 game? So I knew there was going to be an adjustment. We just didn't know what. I thought it was going to be the coach. You know, Coach Casey was going to be the change, and we were going to run it back. But when DeMar got traded, it was like, oh, everybody was glued to their phone. Who's next?
Right.
Like, somebody else is going. And we got Y, then they hired Nurse. And that whole process after going into training camp was just different. It was a different feel. Every year I was in Toronto, we was in the playoffs. Like, it felt good. This team's solid. We got the right pieces. But the calmness and, I don't know, the energy that Y had and has, you know what I mean? When Y stepped on the floor, you like, oh, we got a chance, you know what I mean? To go to the top, and that's how it was.
He elevates.
That first day in training camp, we looking at each other like, we got this year, man. We got Y, and just the way he moving, the way he, like, this is a different feel, man. It's like looking at Bron or Jordan or Kobe on the court, you know what I mean? Just the way he's able to read the game and the stillness he has when he plays. It was a totally different feel then. No knock on DeMar, but just a different feel when you're on the floor. DeMar has that in-control game, but Y has just this persona about him, you know what I mean? We knew we had a chance when we got Y.